Welcome, YouTube friends and family, to today's edition of the Wellness Homesteader. Do I know my own name? Oh, guys, I should do like a outtake reel because y'all would be laughing. So, what are we going to do today? Well, I have had a very hearty harvest of jalapenos. I noticed that some of my jalapenos were starting to turn dark. Those are the hottest and spiciest. And we have had an extraordinarily dry and an extraordinarily warm summer. I'm not going to say hot. The hot's going to happen next week, guys. We are due for a heat wave. So what I've been doing is taking a look at my garden plants, deciding what obviously still needs maturity time, like my tomatoes, pumpkins, butternut squash. I still have a zucchini on the vine. I still have cucumbers on the vine. I took a big bowl to my neighbor just a little bit ago of a variety of things that I harvested this morning, because as you see behind me, y'all, I've been a little bit busy. So yesterday I harvested the remainder of my green beans. I got 8.5 quarts. They are beautiful. I fussed, the whole time I was stringing and breaking them. And then you may notice here, what is this? Well, let me show you, maybe you can see it a little better here. These are actually freeze-dried cucumbers. So what I like to do is freeze dry cucumbers and then put it in water and kind of make an infused water. So I have a 1/2 gallon and 2 pints. I'll leave the pints out and just, refill from the 1/2 gallon and keep resealing it because it will absorb water. And if y'all notice that I'm sweating or think, ew, your hair's dirty. No, my hair's not dirty. That'd be sweat. So we are going to make today cowboy candy or candied jalapenos. So what this is a very hot but sweet relish that it's often put, like you take a cracker, put some cream cheese on it, and put a little spoon of the hot, sweet jalapeno candy. And really it's just pickled sweet jalapenos in a syrup, but it is so good. So I actually am going to vary up my recipe a little bit this year. It's not hugely different, but there's a couple things in here that I had not seen before. And one of those things is celery seed. And I read the blog, and this is from Foodie, Foodie, with family.com. They said that the celery seed was a game changer. And even though I don't like celery as the vegetable, I do like celery seed, and I like the flavor that it imparts. So the first thing you need is a good pair of gloves. Guys, take my advice. You're gonna wish you would have. Even if your jalapenos aren't that hot, just err on the safe side and wear gloves. So what I am going to do is I'm going to cut these. It says 1/8 to 1/4 inch slices, oh my goodness, uniform. I should say routine. I know that's not the right word. Y'all, I'm trying. I'm still struggling a bit with with everything. That's just part of grieving and learning a new life routine. I think I've shared this, but I have an Apple Watch, and it memorizes what you do as far as driving patterns, etc., etc. So for example, if you were going to work every day, it's going to tell you how many minutes to work with current traffic. Well, it kept telling me how many minutes to Mom's. That finally seems to not be happening every time I'm in there, but I was making some plans for next week, and I honestly thought, well, I guess I could go see Mom on Saturday after my lash appointment instead of on Sunday, and that would give me Sunday to do this, that, and something else so that I would be free during the week. So it is hard to get out of that cycle of thinking about your loved one. And I think, while your heart may ache and grief may weigh heavy, or sadness may weigh heavy on you, it does get better with time. Memories will always be bittersweet for me. I'll speak for myself. Okay, so I'm gonna get to cutting. Now, if you don't like your cowboy candy super hot, you can take the seeds out. Why bother? I may take some out if it's super dense, but for the most part, I am just going to cut them up. I'm going to put them into a container. I did weigh these out. I have a little over 3 pounds, and it calls for 3 pounds. You always seem to have so much syrup left, so I thought, why not have more jalapenos? And I hope that doesn't backfire on me. It probably won't. And I'm going to put the sliced jalapenos into a cup that, well, it's a ginormous cup. It's an 8-cup measure. And I'll let you know about how many cups sliced that I'm going to be using. So while I'm doing that, y'all, I think y'all know I'm not a huge TV watcher, but I love me some YouTube. And I haven't watched it yet, but I want to watch this poorest region of America, what it really looks like. It's a deep Appalachia documentary by Peter Tenelo. I'm probably butchering his name. Don't tell him I don't know how to say his name. But I think it'll be really interesting. I love documentaries, but I particularly love things about where my family was from. So I'm going to get to slicing. I'll bring you back when we have those sliced. Then we're going to be preparing our syrup. And this is a water bath can recipe, super simple. If you don't can, you can actually store these in the fridge, much like a refrigerator pickle. So I think that's another advantage. It's a great appetizer to have, like if you need to bring something to a party, open a block of cream cheese, dump out a jar of the cowboy candy, throw a couple sleeves of crackers, voila, you have a really good appetizer that people will say, wow, that's hot, can I have another? All right, I'll see y'all very soon. All right, y'all. This recipe says that it makes 4 to 6 half pints. A half pint is the jelly jar size, so an 8-ounce jar. A pint is 16. You could certainly do pints. You would just need to adjust your processing time. It does not give the time for pints, so just know that. I'm sure you could find it probably in another USDA approved recipe. So what are we doing? So in a large pot, y'all, well, first of all, yeah, I happen to have all the jalapenos, and I'm going to tell you that I probably have 10 cups. That seems to be about, because 8 cups is the last measure on that. Y'all, some of those jalapenos are just huge and gorgeous, and I did grow my jalapenos from Bigger Creek seed. I do like, I forget what the name of the jalapeno is. I'll have to look that up for y'all. But anyway, in a large pot, I am going to bring to a boil 2 cups of apple cider vinegar. Y'all, apple cider vinegar, just the regular, not organic, not with the mother at Walmart, is $6.84 in my area, so I am not going to buy it. But I did have this, and I got this from Aldi, White House organic raw unfiltered apple cider vinegar with the mother. So I used a lot of it, but that's okay. That's what we buy supplies for in our pantry. So we want cider vinegar. We need 6 cups of granulated sugar. Now y'all, before y'all say something, I know that's a lot of sugar. That's why I buy it in 25-pound bags. I do eat pure cane sugar. I don't make a steady diet of it, although looking at me, you might think that I do. But you're going to eat this in such small quantity, and I'm telling you all, it's addictive. Like, you'll be like, my mouth is on fire, I need to quit eating it. Wait, maybe I'll just have one more. And it's not the kind of heat that makes you sick or numbs your mouth. I will tell you that. Okay, so we've got our 2 cups of apple cider vinegar, 6 cups of granulated sugar. Now, the next item is half a teaspoon of turmeric. Y'all, I can't say that right. And I've been watching that documentary, and let me tell you, it is really good. really, really good. We're going to do a half teaspoon of turmeric. He started out in West Virginia. It's a lot about the coal mines and such. Now he's over in Kentucky where my people are. My people. But it's a wonder that I'm not like really putting on a dog, because when I hear other people talking Southern, it just brings it all out in me and I can't filter it and not do it. Okay, we need half teaspoon of celery seed. Oh yeah, I love the look of these little, they're actually metal so they stick to your refrigerator. I love the look of them, but sometimes they're hard to get it turned and it might, okay. Half teaspoon, not a teaspoon of the celery seed. So I'm just letting you know that. I like them, but they can be a little bit hard to turn. Now, 3 tablespoons of granulated garlic. I will tell you, that's a tablespoon. Azure has great granulated garlic versus just the garlic powder. Highly recommend it. That was probably a little bit generous. But you know, you measure garlic with your heart, not the teaspoon, right? All right. And a teaspoon of ground cayenne. So let's get that measure out, as if the jalapenos aren't hot enough. So I'm going to go a little scant on that. So maybe 3/4 of a teaspoon is what I put. Changing up the spices is not going to dramatically impact, what isn't going to impact at all, your shelf stable nature. It doesn't have anything to do with acidity and all of that. So it's okay if you want to change it up a little bit. So what it says here is bring the vinegar, white sugar, turmeric, celery seed, granulated garlic, and cayenne pepper to a boil. Try not to breathe it. Reduce heat and simmer for 5 minutes. Then we're going to raise the heat to boiling again and add our peppers, and we are going to simmer them for exactly 4 minutes. Then we're going to remove it from the heat. I do have my jars, my half-pint jars, washed and in the canner, warming up. I've turned on my Ball Fresh Tech electric water bath canner. That's just my preference. Y'all, it's too hot to can outside today. I know I had really planned to can outside, probably more than I have been, but I also am not going to stand out there and sweat and be miserable. So been canning a lot inside. I have been cooking a lot outside, which has been really nice, and I've done some canning outside. Y'all have seen the videos. All right, let me get this to a boil. Do the 5 minutes, add the peppers, do the 4 minutes. I'll bring you back when we are ready to jar up. I hope you'll stay tuned. All right, y'all. Our jalapenos, up, you can't see. You'll see them when they go in the jar. Have cooked the allotted times. And now I'm going to start working on filling the jars. Now, this is a little bit different method, excuse my back, y'all, than what you normally think about filling jars. So my jars are hot, the jalapenos are hot, but we're not going to put the liquid in yet. So you want to pack your jars pretty full. And even though we had all of those jalapenos, they really shrink down as they cook. And the other thing I failed to mention to you is you are likely going to have some liquid left over. Don't throw that liquid away. You can can it along with your jalapenos or your cowboy candy, and it's great for use in like potato salad, to brush on meats, or to marinate meats. Woo! Yeah. So I'm packing these jars pretty full. I wish I had a bigger slotted spoon, but I don't. And that's not an ask for somebody to send me one. I've got a ginormous scoop and this little bitty spoon, but I'd rather use the little bitty spoon. So I'm putting them in there pretty tight. So let me pick one up with the jar lifter. So this is kind of what they're going to look like. I'm going to take them over here to my canning station where we are going to be adding our liquid and wiping the rims. Trust me, they will stay smoking hot. No problem with shocking. I just dropped it. I didn't drop it, guys. I spilt it. No problem with letting your jars set there till you have them all filled. That jar still looks like it has a little water in it. So I'm going to continue filling the jars. Then just for ease for me, I'm going to take the remaining liquid. I'm going to put it into a heat-safe pouring vessel, and I'll meet you back over at the canning station. Stay tuned. Okay, y'all, we ended up with 5 pints and lots of liquid, which you always seem to have leftover liquid. So you do want to thoroughly debubble each of your jars, and again, 1/4 inch head space. You know, kind of think of it like a jam or a jelly. Now, I have way overfilled that. Welcome to my kitchen, where accidents happen every day. I've actually overfilled these jars a little bit, in which case we can start another jar for the fridge. Well, I am making a slopped up mess, y'all. Ooh! If you lick your fingers, just be prepared. So let's get those jars out of the way so y'all can see what I'm doing. And I will tell you, y'all, this stuff is super sticky and really messy, or maybe I'm just really messy. It's one of the two. And again, I think I've overfilled a little bit. So we'll have a jar to eat on and to taste with. It is recommended that you leave them 2 weeks to a month. And yes, I realize I haven't wiped rims, guys. I will do that at the end. You know, just for the flavor, to develop. But the recipe says they won't tell if you do it sooner. And I can tell you, I've eaten them right away. They do seem to mellow and be tastier with time. That I can tell you for sure. All right. So I'm going to continue filling. I'm about to sneeze. With the jars I have left, I will offload some of this liquid. Honestly, guys, I'm not going to save it all because I won't utilize it all, or I may grab a couple more jars. I haven't decided yet, but I probably will not save it all. And I will bring you back once they're in the canner. I did reread the directions. 10 minutes for half pints, 15 for pints. Adjust for your altitude. And again, it's water. I ended up with, of course, the 5 half pints of the cowboy candy, 3 half pints of liquid, one of which has the overflow jalapenos in it, but it would certainly be still delicious to eat or to use as marinade, or as I've mentioned, I mean, you can use it in egg salad, tuna salad, anything where you need a little sweet liquid, sweet hot liquid. So this is what I actually ended up having left. I also did 1 pint jar. So I am going to process this as if they were all pint. And I think that's an important consideration if you're new to canning. You do want to process your batch for the time that the largest jar would require. It smells heavenly in here, y'all. And I thought, oh, I haven't even done a taste test. So I'm not going to eat a jalapeno because they're all in the jars. But let's just take a little taste of this liquid and I'll give you my honest opinion. I know it's delicious. Whew, that's got a little heat to it. But again, it's not like blow your mouth up, but it's pretty hot. I think the celery seed's going to be a nice addition. It adds a little back note. I can definitely taste the celery. It's very sweet, and y'all, it's very sticky. I've already put my canning mat into the laundry room to dry out so I can do some washing a little bit later. So I'm gonna red up these dishes while we wait on our canner to come to a boil again, depending on your altitude. 10 minutes for half pints, 15 minutes for pints. Add the time as you need depending on your altitude. I'll see y'all real soon with some final. Stay tuned. I hope you all have enjoyed today's video. And here we go. We have 5 jars of cowboy candy, 2 half pints, and a pint of the liquid that we can use to marinate meats, to brush on grilled meats, to add to various potato salad, macaroni salad, whatever. 8.5 quarts of green beans, which I did not film, and then a gallon and a pint, or half gallon and a pint of freeze-dried cucumbers. So what I can say to you is every little bit counts. So yes, this does represent a couple days work, a few hours in the garden, a few hours inside, freeze drying, canning, whatever I'm going to be doing, pressure canning. But to me, it's very well worth it. And I will be thankful to have this food come wintertime when there's snow on the ground and there is nothing fresh in Ohio except freshly fallen snow. If you would do me a big favor, go ahead and smash that like button. Drop me a comment below. Are you a spicy food lover? Do you make cowboy candy? What's your secret ingredient, if you're willing to share? I will see you all next week. Thanks for your time today. I do appreciate each and every one of you, whether you're new or returning. I'm so glad you're here, and I thank you for the time you've spent with me today. So until I see you again, be healthy, be well, be blessed, take care.